What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is your review for BET Presents the Encore Season 1, Episode 2. So, we picked up, I guess, where we left off from last week. We have Keely, is it Keely? Talking to the girls, and Aubrey is upstairs upset because she doesn't like the word divisive, and she doesn't like people calling her divisive. But I don't know how else you say it. Like, y'all were all brought there to make one big super group, and you come up with the idea to divide the girls into two groups. That is the definition of divide. Anyway, so Cena's world is back, talking to the ladies, and she essentially lets the ladies know that they have to have a queen for a day type situation where every week they're going to elect another queen, and that queen will be responsible for making sure that everybody stays on task, resolving any conflicts, and things like that. So here's the thing. That's great. I'm here for it. But here's my problem. What the hell is Keely's job? Like, if they want to elect a queen, ain't that what you need to do? Aren't you in charge of, like, the creative direction of the... I guess that's not really her job then, I guess, because that's more like a house mother type thing, and she's more like in charge of, like, the creative vision. Okay, so I guess that's not the same thing. But I was just sitting there thinking, what? So anyway, the ladies vote on who they think should be in charge. They count up the votes, and the votes, it really comes down to Aubrey and Pam both got 2 votes each, or 3 votes each. It must be 2 votes each, excuse me. And then there was a tiebreaker, and the tiebreaker went to Pam. Well, I can understand why I went to Pam. Pam is that calming person. She talks really low. She's got Jesus with her. You know, whenever there's a conflict, she said we need to pray about it before we act on it. Like, I am here for the moment. I'm here for... I understand why she was elected first, okay? So, she's a little shocked by it. She's like, I don't know what that's about. I don't know why, why, but okay, I accept it. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for believing in me. Be back. Sorry about that. So, Pam is queen, and she gets her mandate. Now, like I said, I already kind of went over what the different mandates were, but the main mandate is on the album, which last week I wasn't clear if they were cutting like a record or a whole album. So they're doing a whole album in 30 days, which is ridiculous. For 8 people, but whatever. And at least 3 of the songs, everybody has to be featured on at least 3 of the songs. It doesn't say everybody has to be featured on every song. And let's be clear. Well, I'll get to that when we get to the studio. But it's not like it's unrealistic and it can't happen. Okay? The next... Keely, I feel like Keely feels some kind of way about the situation. Just a little something, a little this and a little that. Shamari and, Pam have a moment that morning getting ready. And Pam is like, listen, I appreciate, all the love. I appreciate where it's coming from. She said, I just wasn't always this person. I wasn't always this chick. I was a wild child. I ain't had the best attitude, and so it's a blessing to be in a situation where people feel like they see me as a leader and they see me as somebody that they trust. And so she said, I don't really take it lightly. I don't really take it lightly because I know how far I've come, right? So they're going into the studio. They got their producers. They ready to make a record. And this record has more of like a reggae feel to it. I was kind of liking the little, we couldn't hear live. You know how it is in the studio. You hear like isolated this and that. And so all the ladies went into the booth one at a time. So listen, we went through this last week. We know who can't sing, or we know whose voice is not on the same level. Everybody's voices are just different. Now, when it was time for Irish to go in the booth, she was already nervous because she knows her voice ain't where everybody else's voice is. She knows it. And so she had that, that little shaky voice again. And actually I think she asked Shamari to come with her because she just felt more comfortable, I guess, having somebody with her. So Shamari went in there and she was very, very comforting to her. You got this, go ahead, you got it, say this, say it like this. And the producers were very, do it like this, So while this is going on, the ladies are inside talking a little yang, yang, yang. Well, y'all know Lanisha ain't feeling it, because Lanisha and Irish, somehow they connected. I know y'all gonna tell me in the comments how they connected, but they got the same last name. So I don't know if it's through marriage or if they cousins or what, I don't know, but somehow they connected, okay? So Lanisha wasn't feeling it. And then finally, one of the twins, I want to say it was one of the twins, went in there and was like singing like this. Might have been Fallon. I think it was Fallon. Do it like this, sing it from your diaphragm. Don't sing it from your nose. Like, she was giving her some good words, right? So here's what I can appreciate. What I can appreciate is that she got up off her ass and she went in there and she tried to help that girl. Because she was talking shit. But here's what I can appreciate. We all talk shit. Everybody talks shit. That's what we do. That is the human nature. Okay? But what I can appreciate is that she then got up and went in there and told that girl the same thing she said about that girl. I ain't mad about that. Because at the end of the day, she needed help. Now, Lanisha went up in the booth. She did her little thing. I mean, of course, like I said, her voice is not as powerful, but it wasn't as bad as Irish situation. Now, here's the thing. Let's have a little heart to heart right now, okay? Let's have a little heart to heart, okay? Everybody's not a lead singer. Everybody is not a lead singer. And the best singer isn't always the best lead. Let me give you a couple of examples. I'm going to go left for a minute, but just stick with me, okay? The Supremes. Diana Ross was not the best singer. She wasn't. Florence Ballard was actually the best singer out of the three of them. However, Diana Ross probably had the best stage presence. I won't doubt. It didn't hurt that she was sleeping with Berry Gordy. But again, that's another conversation too. But neither here nor there, Diana Ross knew how. We see it even today. Diana Ross is, I don't want to be disrespectful. Diana Ross is in her, 80s? And she still can command a crowd. A couple of years ago, she was honored at the Grammys, and she tore them Grammy stage up, okay? She came down that aisle with that long-ass red dress and all that tulle, and she commanded the crowd. So, just because you have the best voice in the group doesn't mean you're the lead singer. And vice versa, everybody ain't a lead singer, but they can be good for the group. This is what y'all have to figure out. And honestly, Kelly, that's your damn job. If you are the creative director, that is what you're supposed to be doing. You are supposed to be figuring out whose voices are best for what. You're supposed to be figuring out the look. You're supposed to be working with designers and working with the choreographer and coming up with a kid, because everybody can't dance either. So which one of these, New Edition. Johnny Gill can't dance. He'll tell you himself he could not dance, and that was one of the hardest things when he joined New Edition, is because New Edition always gave you a good 1 2 1 2 8 count. Okay, he can't dance, but you know what he did? He figured it out. They did stuff to work around his lack of dancing skills. This is what the creative director is supposed to be doing. I don't know what the fuck you're doing, Kelly. Pam, you are queen for the day or week or however that works out. That's what you and Kelly need to be sitting down and having conversations about. Now, there's an old joke. Robert Harris. And some of y'all may or may not know Robert Harris. Rest in peace. If you don't know this joke, then you're too old to hang with me in the club, okay? But listen, it was an old joke. I'm not going to go through the whole joke because it's like a 10-minute joke, but you need a short version of it. Pastor want to know who called his piccolo player a motherfucker. And went through this whole long thing saying who called his piccolo player a motherfucker. And so finally somebody gets up and says, Pastor, I don't mean no harm, I don't mean no disrespect, but who called that motherfucker a piccolo player? I want to know who called Kelly the creative director. Who gave her the job? Carlos, was it you? Kelly, did you give it to yourself? I want to know at what point and who had the conversation, and I want to see her contract. Does her contract say creative director? Because I feel like she just gave herself that damn title at this point. Because she says she don't want to be in the group, but every time they're doing a group thing, she is in the group. She went in the booth and sang a hook, and then was like, yeah, y'all can use my voice. Well, damn it, if you sing in the hook and they can use your voice, you in the group. You are in the group. Anyway, so later on that day, the ladies are downstairs in the studio talking, and there's a group of people upstairs talking, and Aubrey is leaning on Pam, and they're talking about what I just said about who can sing, who can't sing, and all that good shit. And she's leaning on Pam's leg, and she started rubbing Pam's leg. And Pam said to her, she said, I feel like I need to say something. It's on my spirit, and I feel like I need to say it. Basically, she said, listen, I used to be a lesbian, but I'm not a lesbian anymore. And because of my religious beliefs, I don't want nobody to get the wrong idea. I know this is a show and it is being filmed, and I don't want, because that's basically what that came down to was, I don't want people outside to think I'm still in that lifestyle because I am not. Now, she did add on there that God delivered her from that, okay? And Aubrey was like, oh, no problem. Now, Pam was like, I'm sorry, I hope I didn't offend nobody, but I just needed to be clear because I don't want it to be perceived any kind of way. And you know how rumors get started and how things get out there. Now, she admitted that she used to be lesbian and she used to indulge in the lesbian-like behaviors, but she just ain't that no more. She said God delivered her. She is the Andrew Caldwell of the Encore. She has been delivered. She don't do them things no more. Now, she went upstairs. This is running long, y'all. I'm sorry. Now, she went upstairs and she told Shamari and them, and she was like, listen, I might have said a little too much. And she told them what happened. And Shamari and, who was upstairs with Shamari? Shamari and somebody else was like, girl, ain't nobody tripping off of that. Like, you was just letting it be known. Like, you ain't feel no kind of way. Like, but, listen, I don't want no misunderstandings. And so, now, of course, Aubrey and them are downstairs. And Aubrey was like, girl, it wasn't even that serious. Like, all I was touching your leg. But when they showed the clip, girl, you were rubbing a little bit. You was rubbing a little bit. I probably would have had to say something, too. I don't know if I would have added the God delivered me part. But I probably would have been like, ooh, and I don't have no problem nobody touching me. But, you get the rubbing the leg. That's an intimate act. Anyway, so Kelly is mad. Kelly is, she was like, that is just disrespectful, and this is homophobic. So here we go with this, right? So, the next day, once again, we are talking about the group and what's going to happen with the group, right? So, they're sitting up. So Kelly and Kelly, Lanisha, and Livia are having a conversation. And basically, Lanisha is like, listen, girl, Kelly, make up your mind. Either you in the group or you're not in the group. Like, if you in the booth and you taking up resources and you taking up time, then you in the group. And, just child. So, there's a conversation that's being had between one of the twins and Kelly. Isn't Fallon? And the reason why that's important is because the other twin feels some kind of way later on because she was like, I always get grouped together and I wasn't there. I didn't say it and I wasn't in that conversation. But I feel like it might have been Fallon because Fallon seemed like to be the one with the most mouth, child. So Kelly and Fallon are having this conversation about the weak links, basically. And Lanisha is out, she's listening. She listened to the whole conversation. And Kelly and Fallon are having this whole conversation about who the weak links are and what they need to do and how everybody don't need to be here. And, that's why we want to do the two groups so that, basically they can stay over there and we can stay over here. And Kelly was like, girl, so you want to have a super group and then you want to have a not so super group. And once again, I feel like this is where you as a creative director should have been reassuring her saying, listen, I have a vision. I have a vision for what this is going to look like. I have a vision and we'll be all right. We're going to make sure that we protect Lanisha because we know she's not the best dancer. We're going to make sure that we give Irish, a hook to feature her, but it's something that, she can do. Listen, we had the worst singers in the world make hit records, okay? Listen, her voice ain't so bad that we can't find a way to make it, we give her a hook or two. Hell, even Juanita Rowe had a couple of lines here there. Just saying. And of course, Lanisha is now hot She's hot as chicken grease, okay? Or fish grease, whichever one is hotter. She is hot, you tell me. Anyway, so Pam ends up having to call a meeting. Pam said, okay, listen, we need to talk. This is where we need to sit down and we need to air these things out. And what I like about Pam was they tried to tell her to put on her crown. And Pam said no. She said, we are all queens. We are all queens. And no, nobody needs to put on a crown. Lanisha was actually crying. She did put the crown on, but then she ended up taking it off. She said, we are all queens and my crown is no bigger than anybody else's. Because like I said, Lanisha was ready to go home. So they're having the conversation. Nivea was just like, girl, where the rice cakes? Because this is a lot. So they end up having a conversation. And what, again, I can appreciate is that we cut straight to the chase. Lanisha was like, I just want to go ahead and just say it. I felt some kind of way. I overheard a conversation, and this is what was being said. So, of course, everybody, for the exception of the two people who was having the conversation, was like, what? Is this what? Now, of course, Kelly want to act like she was innocent and she had nothing to do with it and she wasn't saying nothing negative. But Kelly, again, you may not have been leading that conversation, but you did not defend the situation. And as creative director, that's your job. That is what you're supposed to be doing. So I'm gonna hurry up, y'all. I know I've been talking a lot, but it was a lot. This episode was a lot. So Felicia gets mad because Felicia was like, we always get grouped together. It was not the twins. The twins ain't had that conversation. That was Kelly and that was Fallon. The twins ain't had nothing to do with that. Now, to Fallon's defense, she did speak up and she said exactly what she said. She said what she said. I would give Fallon credit for being the type of person that if I say it about you, I'll say it to you. I'll give her credit for that. Now that I'll give her credit for. Now Kelly is sitting there the whole time like, I ain't say nothing. I don't know why you coming for me. I'm not guilty. I didn't do nothing. It ain't me. It won't me. I didn't do nothing. I didn't say nothing. Why they coming for me? Like, that was her whole affect the whole time, right? Then Kelly started talking about Pam's comments the night before with the homophobia. So Pam was just like, did I what? I said, what? I was what? And she was like, and the rest of the girls did not join in. I'm going to be honest. Nobody else had Kelly's back on this one. Even Aubrey, who seemed to agree with Kelly when Kelly got mad when it was first said down in the basement, it seemed to feel some kind of way about it too. And Kelly even said, Aubrey, nobody has anything to say. Aubrey. And Aubrey was like, girl, what you talking about? I didn't say. Ooh, I don't know what you're talking about. And so Kelly kind of was out there by herself with that. But Pam was like, listen, I'm not homophobic. I can only speak for me, my journey, and my relationship with God. I don't believe in homosexuality. I just don't believe it's of the Bible. I don't believe that it's right. That is my belief. That is how I feel, and you ain't gonna change it. She said, and so then Kelly started talking about how she's bisexual. And yes, I'm married to my husband, but I am bisexual. And I am offended by that. And I'm thinking to myself, ain't you the one that outed out Raven-Symoné? Ain't you the one that was out there telling other people's business? So the rest of the group, the rest of the ladies really was kind of like, again, they didn't really support Kelly on that. I can understand why Kelly would be upset. I honestly could. And what Shamari said was, we have to be very careful how we throw that word around. It's like calling somebody a racist. You have to be very careful. It doesn't make somebody a racist just because they made a comment that you disagree with. If that is her truth and that is how she lives and that is how the Bible she believes in, or her version of it, we have to be very careful in calling her homophobic. Now, again, I can see both sides of this coin because, it hit me some kind of way when Pam said it too, if I'm being honest. It hit me a little bit, but I understand where she's coming from. And again, I feel like the biggest thing is she just doesn't want, because she has changed her life, she doesn't want to be perceived as still being in that lifestyle, I think. Anyway, so the next morning, Aubrey says, screw all of this. And she creates vision boards. She creates these vision boards, and the ladies are like, "Oh my goodness, this is so great! Shoot, this is what our creative director should be doing. Why she ain't do this? Why ain't she do this?" Da, 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 da. So they end up calling them another meeting, and Aubrey presents her vision board, and she explains that this is the vision she has for the group, and she sees that everybody has their own individuality, but they can come together as one. Blah 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 blah. So now everybody is turning to Kelly like, "This is what you should have been doing. Why you ain't do this? We don't understand." What you been doing? She did this in one day. We've been here XYZ days and you ain't done nothing. And then everybody started beating up on Kelly. And they did. They did all kind of jump on her. And Kelly got really upset. At first she was kind of holding her own. And then she got upset. And she was, crying. And she was really upset. She was like, why is everybody coming for me? Like, why am I the big bad wolf? Well, you're the big bad wolf because you are the big bad wolf. Like, you're not innocent. Now, is Aubrey Aubrey, child. But you are not innocent in this situation either. So anyway, child, that's pretty much where this episode ends. I don't know. Kelly was like, should I leave? I mean, should I go? I don't know. Should I leave? But my thing is, why are you here? I don't know whether you should go or not until I know why the hell you're here. Anyway, that's it. I know this was a long one, but child, a lot happened. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.